Hey guys, this is OJ. I'm in Kenya. Right now I'm in Mombasa on the beach. It's a beautiful morning out here, just so you guys can see. But today I'm going to talk about Surya Namaskar, which is one of the fundamental exercises that I do almost every day. I think it's a wonderful exercise. I do a lot of weightlifting and a lot of calisthenics, so my body can get sore. And this is one way that I get the soreness out, so I can go the next day really hard. It's the first thing I do in the morning, so it loosens me up, gets me warmed up, and I think it's one of those things that everybody can do. Whether you're young, old, whether you're a kid, or like you have maybe some injuries or stuff like that, you can do it in such a way that you can modify it that it works for you. It's good for internal health, external health, and your breathing, all that kind of stuff is kind of incorporated into Surya Namaskar. So it's like an all-around exercise, very low-key, low maintenance. You don't need to have a lot of equipment or anything like that. You can do it while you're traveling. And so, I mean, that's just Surya Namaskar. There's a lot to it. I'm going to be going over the physical aspects of Surya Namaskar in this video. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. And here we go.
First, we're going to go through all the asanas. This is Pranamasana, Hasta Uttanasana, Vadahastasana, Ashwasanchalasana, Danda Asana, Parvatasana, Ashtangasana, Bhujangasana, Parvatasana, Ashwasanchalanasana, Padahastasana, Hasta Uttanasana, and Pranamasa. Okay, next I want to talk about how many reps and sets we should be doing. We want to build up to 8 rounds, which ends up being 108 total reps. Each round has 12 reps, and one completion of one rep is from Pranamasana to another Pranamasana. And again, build up. It should take you about 3 to 4 minutes per round or set. So good luck with that.
Okay guys, in this part I'm going to be going through each and every step of Surya Namaskar so that you get exactly what movement you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be focusing on. One of the things with this is you just got to keep practicing. Initially it may be tough, but these are the ideals you're going for. I'm not perfect at them, but this is just what I know at this point, and as I keep learning I'll give more tips as we go on. So first step, we start in what's called like Namaskar Asana, or Pranamasana. So basically you're doing a Namaste position, keeping your body as straight as possible, your feet together, and then our shoulders back, and try to look straight up. It's like you're looking at the sun. So that's what we're doing first, right? You want to press the palms of your hands together, so that you get a good stretch of your forearm muscles right here. Alright, because when we sleep, when that tends to happen is our hands go inwards and then they'll cramp, so this is a good way to stretch those muscles out. Right? Start here again. Then what we're going to do in the next position is we're going to go straight up, we're going to look with our head, and we're going to take our hands and try to align our arms with our ears, right? Now, most people think that you're supposed to bend your back and really arch it and stick your hips out forward. No, try to keep your hips in the same spot. You're really expanding your chest out first, right? And you should really feel a stretch in your back and in your chest. Alright? Now, the next step we're going to transition is we're not going to move our arms first, like so. We're going to move our waist and try to keep our arms in line with our head until we get to the point where we can touch the ground. Okay? And the more flexible you are, the more you do it, you will get more flexible. Maybe you'll only get to here at the first one. Maybe you can be really flexible and get all the way to the ground. Ideally, we want to get to the point where our hands are lined up with our toes and we're touching with our hands completely on the ground. palms and everything. Legs should be straight, toes, heels together still here. Okay. Next step is take one foot back. Doesn't matter which one, right? We're going to be putting all of our weight on not our hands, but onto our legs here, and you're going to be looking back up. Your back knee can touch the ground, that's totally fine. You want your leg where your knee, the back of your thigh is touching your calf. That's ideal. Very hard to do, especially if you're trying to keep your heel on the ground at the same time. Another key part about this is you want to be looking up with your hips forward. This is really great for those hip flexors. Now everybody complains about those hip flexors because we sit down in chairs all the time. So this is one of the best exercises to stretching those out and keeping limber and making sure you don't have a posterior tilt, which means that your hips are tilted backwards, or an anterior tilt where your hips are forward, and that's stuff that will mess with your posture. I'll do another video on that so that people know what that is. But here we go. The ideal is this, and ideally we would have both of our hands on the ground, but based on your anatomy, maybe you won't be able to because your arms are shorter, or you just try your best. And as you get stretched and as you get more flexible, we'll find a way to do it. The next step is going straight back into a plank, right? An upward plank. You want your back completely flat, your abs sucked in a little bit, right? And we're looking straight down. Okay. The key to this one is also keeping your toes and your heels together. All right. Then the next is the famous downward dog, right? The key to this one again is we want our heels to touch the ground, but keep them together. Our chin is tucked into our body, our chest. Our hands are trying to be aligned with our ears as much as possible, and that's pretty much it for that one. Okay. Next position is we're gonna do kind of like a shoulder push-up. We're gonna lean down into it, and we want our head, our nose, our chest, and our knees to touch at the same time. Again, our arms are about push-up distance apart, shoulder distance apart, and you're trying to rest on only these four things so that your butt is sticking in the air, sucking your stomach, and I think that's pretty much it for this position. Alright, next position is we're rolling in to a Salutation, or looking straight up. Now with this position, ideally you want your hips to be aligned with your hands. You are really stretching the front part of your abdomen here, looking straight up. And again, key here, keep those heels and toes together. And I don't know if I'm missing anything, but we'll just keep going. Let's see. The next part, again, is the downward dog position. And again, same place. And keep those heels together and whatnot. Then moving forward, we're gonna bring the opposite leg up through. Try to keep your hands on the ground as you do this, but I understand it's gonna be hard. And the key to finishing this position properly is shooting your hips forward. Really try to force your quad, or not your quad, your hamstring to touch the back of your calf, keeping your heel on the ground. You'll be able to see it better from the other position. And again, keeping your head up, shoulders back. I didn't emphasize that last time, but shoulders back, chest out, really important. See how my hands aren't even touching? That's because I'm really trying to get this stretch properly, and as I get more flexible, I'm hoping that I can actually touch the ground with this. But we'll get there when we get there. Next, we're back to our bent over straight position, right? And this one, again, I forgot to mention last time, but you're trying to get your head to touch your knees, but keeping your legs straight the whole time. Hands fully flat on the ground. So It's kind of like this. And then we're back up. Again, bending from our waist, coming all the way back to that initial position. Really stretching, reaching, trying to get to like a corner, that top corner.
Productions.
And come back to our Namaskar pose. Again, this is where we're at. Okay, good. Next phase.
Okay, in this part I'm going to go through the breathing. So this is going to be inhale, exhale, inhale, hold, hold, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now the breathing is very important while doing Surya Namaskar. It actually allows for the internal health like effects to take the best hold. This is something called pranayam in Indian exercise, and it's to make sure that our lungs are being used as efficiently as possible, and we're exercising those as best as possible. So I recommend trying to practice with the breathing as best as you can. So this is another variation to Surya Namaskar that's a little bit more high intensity. I found this to be helpful because as I was practicing basic Surya Namaskar, I noticed in my own body and in people that I know practice it quite commonly that their hips were becoming larger and their shoulders were becoming smaller and having a more hourglass shape. And as a male, that wasn't too appealing to me. And so I did some research and I looked in and I found out that actually the basic Surya Namaskar was recommended for women and children and beginners. And so this was a version that was supposed to be given to young males. Now that's not saying that women cannot do this one. I definitely recommend it if that's what you want, but this will give a more V shape to your body rather than an hourglass shape, which basic Surya Namaskar will normally